All right. Well, love it or leave it. Protagonists meet in the first 10% of the novel.
Love it. My protagonists always meet in the first chapter, so within the first 5%, my hero and heroine have met each other.
Awesome. Love it or leave it. Dual point of view narration.
Oh, love it for romance, but not necessarily for historical fiction. I think
Mhm.
sometimes single point of view for that works better.
Yeah. Love it or leave it. Third person past tense.
Oh, love it. It's how I prefer to write. I have written first person and I have written present tense on other projects and other genres, but I do find it a lot harder. I've spent so much time in third person past tense. It does flow naturally.
Yeah. Love it or leave it. Third act breakup or dark moment.
Love it, both. So I really want my readers at that moment to believe that not only will my hero and heroine never be together again, but also that they're never going to be happy again. It has to be like the depths, which is hard because I've usually spent like 80% of the book being like, well, of course they're going to get together. So being able to be like, oh, are they? Are they? Is very difficult sometimes, but I really enjoy it. That's one of my favorite parts to write.
Hmm. Love it or leave it. Always end with an epilogue.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love to read it. I love to write it. I think partly because I find it very hard to let characters go. It's why my series are typically quite long, so kind of 10, 12, 20 books in a series, and they all take place with, every single book is standalone, but they're in a world of siblings or friends or neighbors. So I love epilogues that feature previous couples or tease future heroes and heroines. Oh, I love it.
Love it or leave it. Share research in your author's note.
Leave it.
Ooh.
So I write my historical romances with the aim that someone who knows nothing about that time period or place could pick it up and enjoy it. So I try very hard to weave any and all explanations to be contextual in the books. So readers don't need any explanations by the end of it. So I know that's probably my one rebellion, I guess.
Are there other romance rules I didn't ask about that you tend to maybe push the boundaries on?
I don't know if it's a rule. I think typically intimacy occurs in the last 25% of a historical romance. And I don't always leave that to the last 25%. Sometimes it's not the last 50%. Sometimes it's in the first 25%. I think because I quite like marriage of convenience and I quite like having the wedding quite early, and then the consequences of that work out after that. But also because I quite like writing rakes who inadvertently fall in love with someone they didn't intend to. And I quite like writing experienced women who experience pleasure and know pleasure and seek pleasure and then catch feelings. I quite like writing those characters. So yeah, for me, intimacy can happen at any point in the book. It's not always right near the end.
All right, well, that's good to know that readers should open your books and they're never going to know when the intimacy is going
Nope,
to happen.
nope.
I love that.